Welcome to a Thanksgiving Garage Geek special. This is going to be a trip haul video. I'm going to be embarrassed by everything that I show, but it is what it is. You're getting into the madness that is Garage Geek. Now, first off, it's Thanksgiving, and I would love to thank everybody out there in YouTube land, but there are so many of you. I just want you to know that if I watch your videos and I comment, then I am thankful for you because you are adding something to my life, and I appreciate what you do. Chanko made a Thanksgiving video, and he mentioned me in it, and I saw it this morning. I was very touched, and he was talking about how YouTube also explores who we are as people, and that's an idea that I really appreciate. I do want to see comics, I do want to see books, but I love when I get flashes and insights into you as people, because as content creators, I'm not always, looking to buy a $1,000 comic, a $500 comic. I'm interested to see how you spend your money, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna rush out and try to get that. But I am interested in you as people and getting to know you, and hopefully eventually meeting some of you. Now, another shout out that I want to do is for Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. Do you see? I'm always thinking when I'm saying that, so I don't say Jeff's Cool Cave. It's Jeff's Cave of Cool Books, because he's been joining in on the comics and he's getting that comic fever, and it's really fun to see. Jeff, I'm going to show you some books that I am sending you, and I'm going to make a suggestion. So if you're new to getting into comics, you can do it in a very affordable way. Many comic companies are putting out these digests, and they cover certain aspects of comics. So when I was first getting back into comics, there was a line of teen comics that Marvel was putting out. They were geared toward younger readers, but wow, were they good. And I bought a whole series of these. You can see they're smaller than actual comic books. Here is a comic, which I'm going to show later, and here is the digest. You're getting smaller art. That's the payoff for the cheap price. However, these are perfect to dip your foot in to see if you like a title or a genre of book. You could read these, and then later, like I did, I started getting some of the bigger sizes. I'm going to start with Marvel. So Marvel put out this line of all of their books. For example, I'll start with one that I did not enjoy, although there are rabid fans of this. And I think that, Jeff, you're going to love this because it's very comedy-based, tongue-in-cheek. This is The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. She can't be defeated. And it's always, she brings bad luck on her opponent. She even fights Galactus. Now, I think the reason I didn't like this is very manga in style. There were so many. There was a lot of small writing on every page, and I think that was a strain on my eye. Jeff, you're going to need a magnifying glass for this one, and I think that you will enjoy it. Now, another title that I fell in love with was Spider-Gwen. Now, initially, I did not like the art style, but it grew on me. It was very, I hate to say this, young and hip, because I'm totally not that, but I wouldn't necessarily like this art style, but I really grew to appreciate it. And so that's Spider-Gwen. Here is Shuri. So she's the younger sister of the Black Panther. That's her escapades. Of course, one of the best ones is Miles Morales. What I'm showing you is only a bit of what I have. I think I have 3 volumes of Miles. Jeff, I am sending all of these to you. This is phenomenal. Recently, I was able to get the Epic collections of these, and of course, I'm going to pass these on to you. But what a great jumping in point for this character and the gorgeous art. Another one that I was surprised that I really liked was Ironheart. Riri Williams. I really enjoyed this, and I think you will too. Another one that I loved was Hawkeye. I thought this was amazing. And it's a female Hawkeye. I don't remember if it's his cousin, but he trains her, and she gets into all sorts of escapades. She meets other characters in the Marvel universe, and this is just so good. Of course, the Miss Marvel run is phenomenal. And so I think that you're going to really enjoy this. For anybody who's new into comics, these are great jumping on points. They're so cheap. For example, this one costs $12.99. $12.99, and you're getting 12 issues of a comic. So that's like $1.10 per issue. You really can't go wrong. And they do all contain the covers. Another one that I really enjoyed was The Unstoppable Wasp. Now, she's more like a mother figure, and she, it's called Girl Power. She kind of leads the younger members like Miss Marvel and Riri and that sort of thing. And so she kind of guides them, and another really great comic. These are great jumping on points. I have about 30 of these volumes, and Jeff, you're probably going to get them all. I just wanted to say that DC has a newer line that's very similar. And whereas these are going in order and they publish all the comics kind of in order, DC's is a greatest hits. And I think that is perfect for someone getting into comics because you don't have to, go through all the slog. It takes the guesswork out of what to buy, because if they're putting it out, it's because that it was an important run or a popular run. Even if you don't like it, you're going to get a sense of what's going on in the DC world. And so, unfortunately, Jeff, I don't have any of those. I think you can probably get those from Amazon Japan, and those are perfect jumping in points. In addition, once you put all of these on the shelf, they look really nice. So if you're into book and book collecting, then these are going to look beautiful on your shelf, lined up like that. So enough of that. Let's talk about my trip. What day is today? Thursday. I think on Monday I left for Joshua Tree. It's about a 2-hour drive, except I hit traffic. It was my fault. I left a little late. Now, on the way, I was going to stop at a couple shops, but I ended up not, because the one shop that I really wanted to go to, which I'll talk about on the way back, was closed. I'd been to a lot of the thrift stores, but it's a beautiful drive. You're driving the way I drive all along a mountain chain. And as you turn, you just keep seeing all the snow-capped peaks. Man, coming back, the sun was glinting on the mountains and the snow was shimmering. It was truly a phenomenal drive. It was real. Well, I've been on better drives. Knowing that I'm just like an hour away from these gorgeous views, and driving, you get these breathtaking views that I really, really appreciated both the trip there and the trip back. I got there early. I got there about 4:00, and I decided to go into a park. I didn't have the map with me, which is silly because I've been to Joshua Tree I think this is my 3rd time, and I should know the park better. So I went into the first place that I saw, and it ended up just being one of their campgrounds. It was only an entrance, and from there was only hiking. And so I figured, well, I'm early. The other people weren't going to arrive at the house that we rented for another 2 hours. I decided, well, I'll just go into the park and I'll do a short hike. But I did not count on the fact that the sun goes down at about 4:45, 5 o'clock. I was like, whoa, it was already getting dark. And so I decided not to do a hike, but I took a bunch of pictures. I'm going to show them on the screen. And then I drove to the house. And the house that we rented was so pretty. It had 3 bedrooms, a really big common area, which is where we did a puzzle. So I've been recently, whenever we have an outing, I bring a puzzle, and we normally do this. I will show this on my Jigsaw Puzzle channel if you're interested. But we did this one, and it was quite challenging, but we all had fun doing it. So anyways, I didn't even know because I didn't go in the back, but there was this hot tub and a swimming pool. And so after everyone else got there, we turned on the hot tub. We all ate. We started doing the puzzle. It was just a really relaxing evening. We turned on the hot tub, then we all got in it. And it was just beautiful because we saw so many stars that you won't be able to see in LA. Now, I took some pictures, but my camera is a little bit older. It's an iPhone 14, and my friend had the iPhone 17, and her sky pictures came out. Wow, it was just so cool to be in the hot tub with friends and just, looking at the sky. Now, one faux pas I actually made 2 big faux pas. Now, the first faux pas is I didn't bring my migraine medicine, and so I didn't drink at all. I'm just very scared of migraines, and so I didn't even want to chance it. And so normally if I even drink like 1 sip of alcohol, I get a migraine. So that was off the table. Everyone else was having their wine, and a friend made a really beautiful charcuterie board, and we were all eating this. I'm pretty much vegan, but when my friend breaks out the charcuterie board, I do partake in some of the cheeses. It's a cheat, and I know I'm being hypocritical. I don't buy it myself, but sometimes when I go out, I will ingest some cheese. But I'm telling you, the cheese that she gets, It's so delicious, but it makes you gassy. Like really bad. The last time we were all gassy, it was horrible. One of the friends brought this time some Lactaid pills, and I took one and it worked. It was great. So that's probably TMI. You would think that because I'm in Joshua Tree, that normally what I do is I like to explore the entire park. I go everywhere. I take all the roads. But I've been there a couple of times. And so this time I was just going there to meet friends and hang out and of course do some of the nature things. And we did do all that. So for example, the next morning while everyone else slept in, another friend and I, we got up at like 6:30. The sun was already out, but it was still just rising and coming over the tops of the mountains in Joshua Tree. So we went out and we did a very short, like 1 mile hike. It was just more to be out in nature and to see the dazzling beauty of the park. So we drove, I don't know, about 10 miles, 5 miles to get into the park because we were about 5 miles outside the park. And then, through the park and, beautiful drive. And then we went back and, we had breakfast. We did all this, that, and the other thing. Okay, typical things. But we just had a really, really good time in the park. And I was there for 2 nights. On the way back, I drove myself, so we separated. And that's when I started doing some shopping. Now, I stopped, the first place I stopped at was the Cabezon dinosaurs. So this is a favorite spot of mine, and the Cabezon dinosaurs were already decorated for Christmas. So I think they must spend a lot of money painting the dinosaurs for different seasons. But they were all painted in red and green for upcoming, Christmas. And I got a bunch of pictures, so I'll put some of those on the board. I mean, it's right on the freeway. And then you got, this beautiful snow-covered mountain in the background. It's just a really cool place to stop. And then after that, I drove to a town where there is, I forget what it was. It's not Reading. I think it's Cali Mesa. Anyways, I stopped there because there was this bookshop that I went to last time with a friend when we were driving to Joshua Tree. And so this time I stopped by myself. The shop is called Michelle's Books. Now, it's a really cute bookstore that has like 3 aisles. I'm not kidding you, of like romance books. It's so fun just to look at the titles and the pictures. And I kind of enjoy that. It's like really funny. I didn't buy any of the romance this time, but she does have a big section of Westerns. And then you have to look, but she has vintage books. I actually told her, if you would separate these, she actually has them buried behind stacks of books. And she saw the kind of books I was looking at, and she's like, oh, right on her front counter. She's like, I've got all these. They're more expensive. Do you want to look at them? I'm like, after I looked at them, she did the same thing last time, and I forgot. I was like, you really should have a display with vintage books and you should put it on Yelp and more people would stop. And she's an older lady. She's like, oh, I don't know much about social media. And she said, would you post something? And so I went ahead and did. But she does have some vintage books and just fun books. So I'm going to go ahead and show off some of the stuff that I bought. I'm going to start with the cheaper ones. So I bought this Dell book, Luke Short, Bold Rider. And I think this one, it was $2 for that. Then I saw that there were some Playboy books. The name of the character is Slocum. Ride, Slocum, ride. And so these are adult Westerns. I couldn't pass it up, especially when they have wraparound art like that. And so they were $1.25 each and one didn't have a price on it. And she's like, okay, you get that one for free because I was buying so much. Across the Rio Grande, Slocum's Gold. I can't wait to read one of these. It's probably going to be ridiculous. I don't care. That's going to be fun. And then I bought some other Westerns. They are really cheap. Luke Short, Sunset Grays. And I got them for the art. And I think this one was $1.25. No, $1.50. The Shadow Rider. That one doesn't have wraparound. El Gato Montes. And this one was $1.25. Ridiculously cheap prices. Outlaw Marshall with this beautiful wraparound art. And this one was $1.25. Here's Louis L'Amour. At some point in the very near future, I'm going to read my first Louis L'Amour book. And there he is on the back. Louis L'Amour. This one also didn't have a price. And then this one, she said, if they didn't have a price, some of them, she gave me half cover or half the price, with the minimum being $1.25 or $1.50. Isn't that a beautiful picture? And then this one, it was interesting because it was Great Indian Warriors. And I think this is a historical fiction or even just a historical novel. Not a novel, like it might just be history. I don't know. But I really wanted to read this. This is The Day Fort Larking Fell. And I don't know if there is a Fort Larking still, but I remember when I went across the country, I stopped at a couple forts, took a lot of pictures, and the history behind them was so interesting that, number one, it's probably from the point of view of a Native American, which is interesting. And then it's about, one of these forts. I just thought that would be an interesting read. Now, the last book in this pile was $12. And I really was going back and forth because it's a big book and I don't have a lot of space, but I loved the cover art. And you can see it's damaged, but because it's in the broad art, I just thought, wow, I really, really liked the cover of this one. And this, I don't know if this is a book that I'll want to read. Men to Match My Mountains, The Opening of the Far West. So it's history, but maybe I'll surprise myself and read it. And there's a whole series of these books. And I thought if they all have cover art like this, I might have to have a series. So she gave it to me for $8 because I was going back and forth. I waited until the very end. I saw my total and I said, you know what? I'm going to kick myself if I don't get that book. So I went ahead and got it. And because she was smart, she's like, will you take, how about 8? And she was like, but that's fine. Let me show you the other books that I bought. I bought a couple of sci-fi books. They were $4 each. A Thunder on Neptune, Hard Landing. Now, both of these, are they amazing cover art? No, but they're fun and quirky. And I was reading this, the blurb about this, and it sounds really interesting. So I went ahead and got those for $4 each. I splurged on the next set. I bought some of the older Hardy Boys, and I figured if I collect these and if I get them, little by little, look at the beautiful shape this is in. And they were a little bit more expensive, so this was $8. I could probably buy a bunch of them online for cheaper, but I was in the store, and this is the Hardy Boys #2, and I know that when I put this in broad art, it's going to look beautiful. So I'm starting my older collection of Hardy Boys in the art, and this is the Sinister Signpost, which is Hardy Boys #15. What do you think of these? This one was $7.50. She did have another one that was a little bit more ripped up, but it was for like $14. I didn't get that one. Now, the next two are going to be a little controversial. This book was Whoa, Matilda. And I've never heard of this series before, but this is number 5 in the series. And this was $5. And the next book, which is this, look at this. It's gorgeous. And it didn't have a price on it. But there was this weird receipt inside that said $45. And I was like, they were right next to each other on the shelf. This book can't be $45. That's just a receipt somebody left in of a whole bunch of books they bought. And so, of course, the kiss of death was she looked it up online and she's like, oh, it does go for $45. And so she did. There is a little price there that says $10. And so she did give it me for $10 when I was hoping I would get it for $5. I could have said no. But I love the cover. And she was joking like, hey, it looks like Doris Day is getting ready to bust out singing. And I was laughing. And so I decided to get it. I paid a little more than I wanted to, but it's a beautiful book. And so now I have another series to look at. And then finally, the last ones I bought were a little bit more on the pricey side. So I'm going to go ahead and show these. I bought 2 in the Del Rey book. I kind of really like this logo. I think I had a couple as a kid and I really like them. So I bought both of these. This one was $2.75 and this one was $2.95. And I thought for the price, I don't know if this is a good writer. I read the blurb about this one and decided to give it a try. They weren't that expensive. I have a lot of the earlier Star Trek novels, but I was missing this one. And this is The Fate of the Phoenix. You wouldn't even know that's a Star Trek novel, really. But this one was $5. But since this was one of the only ones that I was missing, I decided to just get it to fill my hole. And then the next one, we were laughing because when I picked this up, I was like, The Power of Black. And I was like, I know that's got to be a double entendre, but this is about the oil barons and their loves, and 100 years of love, hatred, violence, and lust. The saga of the Ashmen, the women they married and the women they loved. Ooh, salacious. I don't know. This just looks like it would be a really fun, trashy read. $2. Finally, The Epic of the Alamo, A Time to Stand. This one has this weird sticker on it, and this one was $2, but I bought it because of this. By Walter Lord, author of A Night to Remember. Now, I taught A Night to Remember, the sections that they have, to my middle school class. I've taught it over a couple of years, and that's about the sinking of the Titanic, and I really liked his writing style. And so when I saw that, I decided to grab this, not only because it's part of what I'm collecting, these silver and gold spined older books, but it's by an author that I'm kind of interested to explore. Now that was my haul from Michelle's books. After Michelle's books, I went right next door to a cafe. I ordered, I asked the guy, hey, I'm vegetarian, what would you recommend? And there were 2 things on the menu, and he's like, no, you got to try this one over the other one. So I did, and it was roasted cauliflower with tahini and all these spices, and I have probably never tasted a better sandwich in my life. I was shocked at how delicious this was. Just by talking to him, I said, oh, he's like, hey, are you from around here? I'm like, no, this is my first time coming in. He's like, ding, ding, ding. If this is your first time, you get a free slice of pie. The pie was phenomenal. Like, it had such an amazing taste. Everything was homemade. I was blown away, and it's just this little small cafe next to a bookstore in this kind of looks like a strip mall place. It was a little expensive, but it was worth every single penny. That food was so good. I left that place very, very happy. Now, as I left the shop, I got a text from my husband. My husband was like, you're supposed to be home already. You better not be buying more stuff because you already have 2 big boxes here waiting for you and you don't have space, so don't even. And I was like, I wrote him, oops, too late. Because I had just bought all this stuff. What you gonna do? As I drove home, I don't think I made any more stops. So I just went, and like I said, I was enjoying the scenery on the way home. When I got home, I did have 2 boxes, and then another one arrived. So I'm going to save the second box for the very end because it's going to go with the appreciation aspect of this video, which I know I'm not focusing on too much. But I did get the first big box I got was my DCBS haul, and this one was a big one. So what happens is I buy so much every month and I try to limit it. But if they don't have something in, they just add it to the next order, and that's when they charge you. And so this was almost like a double order. So I know it's going to be scary when I have to pay the bill this month. So I've got a bunch of books, but where's the one book I want to show? Where did I put it? I found it. So it's this bad boy. Look at how thick this is. I had no idea, but this is more in the Atlas Comics library. This is number 7, and this is Girl Comics. I mean, this is a bad boy. Look at how gorgeous this is, and look at all the different types of stories. Look at that slap. So I'm actually going to open this right now so that you can see it, see the interiors. But just like I have 2 other volumes in this set, I am going to make sure over the next couple months I get every volume in this set because they're gorgeous. They're like embossed, they're shiny. Like, it's just the packaging on these things are gorgeous. I mean, the interiors, look at this. You can't go wrong for the price. They include the covers, they include the ads, I think. I don't know if they have, yes. They have the stories that are also in it. So this is definitely going to be a really fun and interesting read. I just have so many things to read. I need to be put into a pocket universe for 4 years where you don't age, and with all my stacks of books, and I just sit there and read, and I can't leave until I'm done. And then I come back into reality, and I'll have caught up with everything. This is definitely the treasure of this haul. Now I'm frantically looking around, where am I going to put all this stuff? So as you saw earlier, I did get some single issues, but they're almost all facsimiles except for this one. I was looking through this. I know other people have shown it. This is R. Crumb, and his art is just phenomenal. And sometimes he'll just have a person talking panel after panel, and even that art is stunning. His work is just so detailed. When you're reading one of these, you're gonna be reading. You can just enjoy the art. I got another facsimile Batman, so this is number 47. I mean, getting these old comics in the facsimile editions, what's so cool about this is when they're anthologized, if there's other things like this, I don't think they're put into the anthologies. So when you actually get the facsimiles, you're getting all the backup stories too. Here is Archie Giant series number 1, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Look at how much fun. This one is Betty and Veronica, number 40, Archie's Girls. And look at the gorgeous art. Of course, they're joke-based, so it says, "Really, Betty? Can I help it if Archie prefers me? I certainly don't chase him." And then Betty responds, "Does a mousetrap chase a mouse?" But look at how beautifully she's drawn. Oh, gorgeous. Facsimile of Fantastic Four number 11. I remember reading this one not like a couple years ago, and wow, is it beautiful to have it in a comic form like this. Now this one was interesting. This is all Negro comics. And this one, America's First Black Comic Book, I think they put it like this for a reason, because the interiors are probably controversial. I will go ahead and show the cover of it. Now, some people might find the content objectionable. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know, but I'm certainly glad to have a piece of history in my collection. There's also like copious notes about it, articles by different people, and then there seems to be a modern take on one of the characters. I don't know, or a couple of them. And so I'm going to have to read this. I think this is going to be really interesting. So like I said, this one was a $12.99 for this slim volume, but since it's a facsimile and contains older comic, I decided to actually splurge on that one. I have 3 more, and they're all facsimiles. This is Justice League number 21. Look at how cool that is. Action Comics number 252, with, I believe, the first appearance of Supergirl. Like, wow. And then the Uncanny X-Men. I was flipping through this, and now I understand why I'm gay, because every time I look at Wolverine, I mean, he's just so hot. Now, the way he's drawn by other artists, no, but those hairy arms are phenomenal. John Byrne knows how to draw Wolverine. Look, here's Wolverine getting splatted. Wolverine, look at him. He's hot. Wolverine. I like John Byrne's art is just phenomenal, and just I grew up with it, so this stuff is like really important to me. But he draws all the characters really well. I mean, look, there's Colossus. Storm is gorgeous when he draws her. Here she is in a red dress. It's not an action pose, but yeah, John Byrne. So those were the facsimiles. So now let me show you. Dang, this is a long video. The Epic Collections in the DC Finest. Here is a DC Finest War. The Big Five arrive. And this covers comic books from 1957. How amazing is this? I mean, you can't go wrong for the price you're paying for one of these. $20 for something like this? That's ridiculous. The Super Friends. The first 26 issues of the Super Friends series. I'm glad to have this. I actually have this in a hardcover, but it's my husband's. So I got this double dipped because that one's for me. And then here, look at how thick this is. This is Green Lantern, Earth's Other Green Lanterns. And this is covering comics 1965 to 68. I mean, you can't go, like, DC is killing it. I don't normally like events, and I don't think I read this, but this has got George Perez art. And so I probably read some of this when I was a kid. Probably after I read this, I'm going to remember it. But this is Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. I mean, you can't go wrong with that George Perez art. This stuff is phenomenal. I see that all the interiors are not. Like, this looks like Gene Colan. Let me see. Yeah, Gene Colan and Bob Smith artists. Oh, that's because it was from a Detective Comics. So there's more. I guess there's some of the tie-ins. When you do have George Perez, I mean, come on. Okay, let me move on. So those were the first 4. The rest are the Marvel, and these Marvels have been beat up. Like I can see, I don't know. But anyways, this is the Incredible Hulk, Volume 10 from 1980 to 81. This is going to cover 245 to 262 plus Marvel Treasure Edition 25. So like 18 comics, maybe 20. I think this is going to have awesome Sal Buscema art. This is the Aliens, the original years. And this is volume 3. I did read volume 1 and I enjoyed it. I think I started volume 2. They are very interesting, but what's really good about this is the interesting art. It changes a lot. Different artists per run, because usually they are all like 3 to 4 issue miniseries that are collected. This one was a mistake. I shouldn't have bought it. This is Moon Knight volume 6. I have all the other ones, but this is 1991 to 92, and the art is just god awful. I mean, it's awful. I should not have bought this. I shouldn't have wasted the money. Probably, I don't know if the stories are going to be good. I mean, and look at it. It's just awful. What is he riding, a moped? It's just terrible. But then I did get Micronauts volume 3 from 81 to 83. Now, at some point, I am going to sit down and read all these. I don't know if this is still like really good, but some of the art in here is cringeworthy. I do remember that these comics had wraparound covers, but look, they're not very good. I remember at this time. Let's see another one. So that was a wraparound cover. This is probably questionable, this age of Micronauts, but I've got to read it and see. Now, the last book I bought is for Christmas. I'm going to give this to my husband, so hopefully he doesn't watch this. But this is the Smurf Archives number 3, and you could probably tell this is a really, really big book. When compared to an epic, you could see like the giant size of this book. So that's, I bought him volume 1, volume 2, and like, I mean, what a gorgeous book, right? So I'm not going to unwrap that and show the interiors. I do have one more set from this. I told you this was like a huge order. Let me go ahead and unwrap this. I was actually so tired yesterday from my trip and driving that I didn't open all of this. So this is new for me, what I'm opening right now. So here is another facsimile edition of Startling Comics. Now, I did notice recently that a bunch of the comics from facsimile editions that I ordered, they were canceled. I don't know if they're having problems with the distribution or not. And I'm so bad, like what they do is they end up later adding them again. And then I'm not sure if I bought them or not. And I hate when they do that, because then I miss out on some of the comics. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I had bought this. The Savage Sword of Conan Reforged. I actually told Sleepy I wasn't going to buy it, but I'm actually glad to have it. I was going to wait until it was in the collected edition, but I'm definitely going to be reading this to get this colorized version. Most people think that it's the first issue of Savage Sword of Conan. All they did was colorize it, but no, that's not what they did. They took different important stories and they put them together. It's kind of like a greatest hits, and then they colorized them, but you still can't go wrong. I mean, what a beautiful magazine that is. It does feel kind of flimsy, though. I got another issue of Shudder. Look at that. Cool art. And this one is number 24. And Vampirus Carmilla. This one's number 28. I bought this Two-Fisted Tales Volume 4. I mean, you cannot go wrong with these. They're such a great bargain for what you get. I mean, this stuff is, and what I really, really appreciate is when you see a cover, they always take something and they blow up one panel, so you get this like giant art in this. It's almost square bound. It's not the same size. Oh yeah, it is. It's actually the same size as a magazine. So you're getting magazine size versus comic book size. So I got another box, and I guess that this thing burst open, or maybe they checked it, but then they wrapped it in a bag. It says, "Beware. We sincerely regret the damage to your mail during handling by the Postal Service." So I'm going to have to check to make sure everything's there. But they're just like used hardcovers that are cheap. I mean, it's probably not going to be pretty, the damage, but you know, what can you do? I didn't pay a lot for these. I probably made a really low bid and I won that way. That's how I normally win my books. I don't know if they're all going to be here now because they were damaged. They're actually not hardcovers. I thought these were, I think I have a group of hardcovers coming. So it's a bunch of soft covers. I bought 10 books and the price was $11.50, but with shipping and everything, they came to $19.34. So that's less than $2 a book. I'm noticing a funny smell though. Oh, that's not good. You can never tell that when you order through eBay. They do smell musty. That's sad. So I'm gonna go ahead and show them off. The If Reader of Science Fiction. Andromeda #2. Worlds of Maybe. These are all like short story compilations. 3 to the highest power, so I think a novelette by each one of these. The Avon Fantasy Reader. That one is the one that's least exciting for me. Okay, and the other 5 are the second If Reader of Science Fiction. Isn't that cool? That's an interesting cover. The Best from Fantasy and Science Fiction 20th series. We got some weird, I don't know. I mean, there's just butts. This is Andromeda, 10 brand new sci-fi stories. Beware More Beasts, a compilation. New writings in SF5. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Less than $2 a book. What do you think about that? Now, I'm almost done, and I saved the best to last. So this started out kind of, because it's Thanksgiving, an appreciation video. Shane at Mr. E, the Low Grade Comic King. I think that's what his channel name is. He sent me a group of books. He bought a replacement copy of a really expensive book. And in a recent video, I was complaining because I have the whole run of a comic book except for the key issue. He sent me the key issue and I told him, don't, just sell it and, use that money to buy something else. I don't need it. But he sent it to me anyway. The thoughtfulness of the people in the communities that we are in, it's just, sometimes it's mind-blowing because this is a big book. Even if it is, a low-grade copy, traded up and got a better one, he still could have sold this and used it to buy other comics. Him remembering, sorry, I should just cut all this out while I'm opening up this package. I haven't opened it yet. I was gonna, I want to open it on air. And so I'm just trying to cut the tape here. But his remembering, I'm gonna tell you the comment that I made because I got one comment that someone laughed at what I said. Because keys just annoy me. So there's a lot of comics in here. So I'm going to just go ahead and start showing them off. And I think the key is in here. Wow. He sent me, look at these. He found these in one of his antique, he goes to antique malls. Look at how cool these are. Look at that art. This is Argosy Weekly. Disaster hurtles down the highway. Around the druid's tree they dance. The dead who never die. Like, look how cool. Whoa. The green flame. Luridly, weirdly, it ruled a continent and threatened mankind with doom unspeakable. Glad you're an American? Wow. The whole package would be worth it just for those two. Oh, yeah. He also, I remember he told me he found some older Mads. And, I mean, I love these things. Look at them. Don't buy this issue. Oh, here's a... Wow. Look at that. Hulk. I don't think I have that one. I don't think I have that one either. I might, but I'm not sure. And then a Mad Super Special. I wonder if this is in here. I hope so. They sometimes have... It doesn't look like it is, or it might be part of the issue itself. But how cool is this? How cool. And so now we're going to go for the key. He like wrapped it up in here. I feel really bad that he sent me this. I won't buy key issues for myself. I'll just wait for them to come out. Oh wait, there's like a ton of books in here. Let's go ahead and turn them over. Oh, it is in there. He put it in here. So here it is, the Mad issue. I love having these. These are like the older facsimile editions. He sent me, he remembered, he sent me some of the Human Fly that I don't have. I think with this, I might have the whole run and I'm going to be able to read it. Number 16. Look at how cool that cover is. Number 1. I was too cheap to buy that one, so thank you. And then number 12. I'm not sure if I have that one. This one I might have. I'm definitely zeroing in on having that whole run. I'm going to be reading it. And then he sent me some of the Alex Ross because I haven't been buying the most recent Alex Ross ones just because I've been spending more money and shifting away from single issues. But I love Alex Ross. Look at that. Wow. And then he sent me, things are falling everywhere. He sent me The Coming of Caleb Hammer. Look at that. This is a Marvel premiere issue. Is that Frank Miller art? This looks like Frank Miller art. I'm not sure. Usually he signs it though. I can't tell. And then he sent me this Savage Avengers. Look at that. And finally, the one that he shouldn't have sent me. It's a beat up copy, but now it's going to be one of the treasured pieces in my collection because someone went out of their way. I made a comment in a video, just like with the Human Fly. Like, I didn't have this issue because it's so outrageously expensive just because of stupid Sabretooth. And here it is. It's Iron Fist number 14. Oh, and by the way, this is one of those comics that has a better splash page than the cover. I'm going to open it up and show it to you. So the splash page on this book is 1,000 times better than the cover. Look at that. I mean, the John Byrne art. And see, the cover isn't by John Byrne, but the interior art is. And I love the interior of that so much more. John Byrne. But how cool it is to be holding an Iron Fist 14 and it's all mine. Yes, it has tape here. I don't care. This is my copy of Iron Fist 14. And I think now I have the entire run. Whew. And this is a big book. This costs money. And he could have, like I said, sold this to help pay for his upgrade. But he didn't, and he gave it to me. So this brings us back to Thanksgiving. Because there are so many people out there who are so generous. They're giving. We're in a community and we find our little niches. We find the people that we like to hang out and talk with. And of course, other people come in and sometimes we get new members and other members go away. But there's like this core of people who, when you're in YouTube, you kind of latch on and it's a way to build community and have friends. And so this very long video is ending the way it began with a thank you to the YouTube community. I'm not naming them all because there's so many and I would skip everyone, but I am specifically saying thank you to Shane because I got this package the day before Thanksgiving. I think it arrived before that, but when I got home, it was the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm opening it, and it just reminds me of this community and how giving they are. I'm going to go ahead and end this video by repeating that I'm always thankful for any comments, and I'm always grateful for all of the support. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.